it's me, Kari Silver Lining Nannette, and I just got done recording a video with my friend Nanette. She is going to host an event in Mount Shasta, California in the middle of summer, August 22nd through 28th, and she has invited me to come participate and scatter some of my joy, make some of my magic. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but I'll come up with something. And she also invited my friend Sara. So Sara and I are going to go out there together. We seem to be a package deal these days, and I like that because I get along so good with her. And just to let you know, if anybody else out there is hosting an event and you want a piece of me, I'll do a light language, I'll do energy healing, I can do a demonstration of pendulums or divining rods. I got all kinds of stuff I can do. I got like 1 million story times. I always make people cry. So if you invite me for a story time, make sure people have their tissue on hand. So I am pimping myself out. All you got to do is just invite me and I show up. All right. And for this particular episode, not only did we share about, oh, you know what? I forgot to give me and Sara some props. I feel a little bit bad about that. So let me go ahead and remind you that I'm just about to release this video this weekend, and I have a meditation on Monday. That would be June 17th, a big healing meditation in which my intentions are for you to connect with a loved one. And specifically, I want you to feel the energy. It's like my favorite thing. If you go to my group, you can read a really sexy story time about my first experience with energy sex and how delicious it was. And I'm not necessarily promoting energy sex so much, although if that's your thing, come join us. It's a group thing, group event. But it's mostly just to feel the physical love. I've connected, say, with Jesus, and in the same way, it's all the same way for me. But with Jesus, it feels like just pure love coursing through my whole body. And when I connect with Avery, my spaceman, it has a very sexual feel to it. It just depends on what your relationship is with the person or being you're trying to connect with. So you can connect with anybody. One time I tried to connect with Zac Efron's higher self because I got a crush on him. But then I realized that's just a role he's playing. That's just an incarnation. I don't know anything about his higher self. So I kind of gave up on that. It no longer appealed to me once I saw the bigger picture. But hey, if Zac floats your boat, go for it. Now, they have to be willing on the other side, but I don't know why a spirit wouldn't want to come experience love. They don't have the same hang-ups we have. So it's my theory that they're all game. So try them out. I was going to go for Jason Momoa too one of these days. Isn't he yummy? All right, so that's my thing, is my new meditation I'm going to do. You can check that out at my Facebook group, Silver Lining Healings, Silver Lining Energy Healing. And then Sara, Sara's got her group, Doing Grief Differently, and she just really teaches people how to maintain or recreate a relationship with their deceased loved ones. And she's just such an inspiration to so many, just by leading through example, and all the silliness that she exchanges with her son really gives an impression, a true impression, that death isn't the end. Death is just a transition into another form. So she really wants to teach about that and empower others to have those same connections with their loved ones. And Nannette, she's all full of empowerment, so I'm really grateful to be able to give her this opportunity to share her shine too. So on that note, here is my little clapper board, all about empowerment with the dates, August 22nd through 28th in Mount Shasta. So let's get up there and have some action. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy this.
Oh.
Hi, it's me, Kari Silver Lining Nannette, and I have my friend Nannette with me. And she came out to Spring to spend the weekend with me, and we're just having a little fun. We've been visiting with some friends, Denise and Sara, and I took her down to the waterway today. We rode the trolley, and we're just having a good time. And one of the reasons that she came out here was to share with me and brainstorm a little bit about an event that she's planning on hosting soon. And she invited me to come and participate. But I want her to tell you what it's going to be about, what her theme is, and you know what her main focus is going to be. So go, girl, lay it on us.
Self-empowerment.
Self-empowerment. So what do you do at your events? Like, I don't know, what's going on? Magic.
It's all about the energy, the magic.
Okay, so you know, I've been around the block a few times. I've hosted a few of my own events. So is it safe to say that you guys do some healing and channeling and teaching.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna spin us around. Let's see if we can coordinate it. I'm gonna go that way. Ready? Let's go. Look at us.
I prefer you.
I prefer you too. That's another thing that Nannette and I, we learned about judgment one time. And rather than liking or not liking or hating or not hating or whatever, we just simply learned to prefer or not prefer. Because that implies that there is no judgment. It's just a personal preference. So we found a loophole.
And I prefer the hell out of her.
I know. We are so in preference of each other.
Yes.
It just never
preference.
stops. All right, so you don't necessarily have a date yet, you just know it's coming soon, but I'm going to tack this video on to the one that will have more details. But we just wanted to come out and have a little sunshine and have a little water and share a little bit with you.
Yeah, I think one of the things I like a lot about the events is that people suddenly, first of all, the energy is great and people suddenly start channeling. And that kind of thing. And you know, it's one of my passions to teach people how to channel. So, you know,
I got me a little lesson last night. She's good at what she does.
Yeah. So, I find that in that energy with all that magic, people just start channeling. You know.
Yeah, it's true. When you're in a room with collective good vibrations, that kind of stuff's just easier. One time I was able to see the color of auras in a room full of high vibrating people, where I haven't seen it before or since then. And so when you are in this group of company of high vibrating people, it's much easier to make those kinds of connections.
The wind just messed us all the way up. We're a little vain. The wind messed us up.
Oh my gosh, fix your fluff, fix your fluff. So if channeling is something that interests you,
We need the fluffer.
We need the fluffer. Bring the fluffer to the event. Which way should we go? Let's go this way. So I have been to these things before, I've hosted them before, and they are really fun. And if nothing else, you will come together with like-minded people where you don't have to feel uncomfortable about sharing your stories. You know, I got my crazy alien stories, I got our crazy angel stories. So it's just anything goes, and just be who you are. Come on to one of these things and find your tribe. And you're planning on hosting this towards the mid-end of the summer. That's what your plan is so far? Okay, and do you have a place yet, or are you still working on that?
We're hoping for Mount Shasta.
That sounds so awesome, Mount Shasta. Okay, so this is just a little preview of who she is and what she's about. And
we don't want to reveal too
right,
much.
Not too much. We don't scare anybody. But she's a real fun and sweet girl, and she is so shiny, and she is definitely a finder of silver linings.
That's why I prefer you.
That's why we prefer each other so much. We sure do. Oh, that's cute. I'm going to stop it there. Okay, guys. Thank you. Mwah. Hi, guys. Look who I have with me today. I have a threesome with my friends, Sara Panera and Nannette. And the reason for this video is, well, it's mostly to do a little self-promoting. We're all going to give a shot and, you know, blow ourselves up a little bit. But mostly this is for Nannette, because she came and stayed with me last weekend and just told me all these really cool ideas for an event that she's going to host. Do you have an official date yet?
August 22nd to the 26th.
Ooh,
August
22.
22nd. Oh, 22. That's why Sara got invited.
Yeah.
Okay. And where is this thing going to be?
Mount Shasta.
Mount Shasta. And the house that you chose, you're like, what do you think of this house, you guys? And I didn't even have to look at it because I had already investigated that house, and it is a Mac Daddy house. So I was like, I'm all over that shit. So what I want to do first is I'm going to just go ahead and start. Then I'm going to turn it right over to Nannette, and then we'll have a group discussion about it. But what she wants to do her event on is self-empowerment, and that's like such a huge part of our journey. It goes hand in hand with self-love, first one then the other, but they're pretty much the same. So Nannette, I'm going to invite you to share with us some of the things that you have in the works, or just your take on empowerment, or whatever you want to say. The floor is yours. Lay it on us, girlfriend. Wait a minute, I'm not done with that. I have to back up a little bit. I want you to tell me, but I haven't even properly introduced you yet. I want to tell you how I know Nannette and why I prefer her so much. I met Nannette we probably met online, But then did we meet each other first in Las Vegas or UK? I don't even remember.
Did we meet first in UK or when I had a layover and stayed overnight in Houston?
Oh yeah, that's right. You got stuck here or something, and you took me out to
Mhm.
lunch. That's right. I remember. Okay, so that's how we first met online, and then she came to our shiny event in UK, and she was just so shiny. You so belonged there. And then again the following year, and then we've just met around at various events around America. And now she's all grown up, and she's going to host her own, and we have a very similar vibration. I don't know how Sara puts up with us, but she sure does.
She does. I love you.
So Nanette's just a neighbor of mine. She lives in Texas, not too far away. So now I'm going to turn it over to you, my sweet, sexy friend. Go.
Mwah. So the self-empowerment, what happened was I went through all these things, and one day I thought, I'm going to put a class together. And I started channeling well, I had my own ideas, but I channeled more because, like when I did the first part was where we give our power away, I found, oh, well, I didn't look at that yet. So I had to, I had a little more work to do with that. And so I would channel each week for the first class I did, I would channel and get, more information. And my first class was a little sloppy. You know how that goes. Because
You got to work out the bugs. You don't.
Yeah, you got to work out the kinks.
Yeah, really.
Iron it out. But each time I do it, if I do it for a personal, want someone that does it on their own, or I do it in a class, then I'll channel some more. Because I find, and the same with events, I find that, spirit brings me stuff to do at the event, and it's just according to who shows up. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I remember the first few events that I hosted, I was a nervous wreck, and I just had this itinerary and I stuck to it because I felt like I had to, I felt like that was the way you do it. But things are so much more fluid now, and I have a sort of idea of what I want to do. And I just kind of like it loose, have like a sort of itinerary. But things are so free flowing, and there's such a nice group of people, and you got to kind of adjust to fit that vibration. And you don't know who's coming in. You plan on channeling one, energy, and another one shows up. So it's just whatever.
It is. And so I don't know what else you wanted me to say. I don't remember.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me something? Because you had an event not too long ago in Sedona, and I heard rave reviews. Everybody seemed to have a really good time. Can you give us an example of like something you did one of those days? A favorite activity you guys did. How's that?
Okay, but one thing is that we just laughed so much the whole time, and I think that's just what keeps people's vibration up. But we did the spirit. My team came in and gave me this whole thing to teach people how to spin their chakras, and it was this kind of Shakti type dance and stuff, and we went through that. Yeah, we did that. We did a lot of channeling, and I find that in each thing I go to, including your events, that it's like I discover a new talent I have. It's not new, it's just latent.
Yeah.
And you discover because you're in all this good energy, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And then you go back to your regular life, and you find that you have to toggle, you have to work at it.
You got to
don't work at it. Yeah, it goes. Yeah.
And plus, you are in that place of high vibration, and when you come home, you kind of get like a hangover. You crash and burn. You're so happy, and then all those endorphins are out the window. So some people go through a little bit of event withdrawal sometimes. Not me. I'm so glad to be back home by myself. But
I know when you're planning it, yes, you don't get the downer. But it's the magic. For me, it's the magic. It's always about the magic. It's always about the energy.
I agree with you 100%. And Sara, you've been around the block with me on these things too. So you've been to several shinies and several stardusts. And isn't it true that no matter what you do, when you go back home, you're not really remembering that, the little exercises and stuff? I mean, you do. But what the best part is meeting new people and sharing space with like-minded vibrations. I always push that part. Don't you feel
Yeah.
that way, Sarah?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like in just spreading the light. It's like, oh my gosh, you just feel like you've met kin. That's what it feels like.
That's exactly it. I always feel like they're family reunions, even when it's the first time, and it just has such a feel of, oh, these are my people. Because I recently went to a wedding, and they're my family and stuff, and I just don't necessarily vibrate with my blood family, but with my soul family, it is always a party. There's so much love. Nannette, you hit it right on. It's the energy, it's the people, it's the laughing, it's that experience.
Mhm.
So the reason too that I've chosen to do this video is because Nannette has invited me to come along, and I'm kind of pimping myself out to anybody that wants to invite me over to their event. I'll get there, and you just give me a place. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I have a few tricks up my sleeve, and the same thing with Sarah. I guess Sarah, this time around, Sarah and I were a package deal, and so we're going to head on over and just spread some shine to Nannette's event with, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to roll with that part. But I don't know. Let's talk a little bit about what kinds of things in our journeys. Okay, before we started this video, I was talking about how we each have been like around the block a few times. We're pretty far enough in our healing journeys that we can see what kinds of things empower us. And it's no secret that I'm learning through, my relationships with boys. I'm learning empowerment and healing and self-love and all that stuff. So that's my journey. Sarah, your journey consisted of, what was your big catalyst?
Yeah, mine was grief of my son's sudden death 5 years ago. So that catapulted me into the enlightenment, into spiritual awakening, and discovering myself, and realizing that Adam has been with me all along on this journey of helping me.
How do you feel like that how do you feel empowered through grief?
Empowered meaning I understand myself more, and in turn, I understand everyone else.
Oh, that's
in a deeper level, to be able to help them on their journey. There were people placed in my path to help me on my healing, so now I'm just going to pay it forward to help others. Yeah.
Sarah, you help people that don't even realize that you're helping them. Just your attitude and your post to Adam.
Oh, thank you.
Such a nut.
Adam's a nut.
Today was so, what was it? He's so cheesy.
He's so cheesy.
And you know what?
I like cheese.
You do?
I like cheese. I do. I literally like cheese.
I make some fried cheese for breakfast this morning. I got a little bounce with you, though, Sarah and Adam. Some of your stuff's really funny.
Some. Yeah.
Right. Well, some of it's especially funny, but I can't share
Some of it's intentionally funny. How was that?
Yeah, there you go. So I'm wondering if I can steal your memes and post them on my wall, because you don't have Sherry stuff.
Yeah, we do special memes like how we do that.
Yeah,
other than appropriate for Kari's group. Let's do that.
They don't have to be inappropriate, just
appropriate or inappropriate, depending on where you are in your journey. But so Nannette helped, asking to be a part of her great retreat that she's putting together. So I'll bring Adam along, and we'll do some channeling, and
are you going to channel Adam? What are your plans? Channel Adam?
No, I guess what we'll do is just like Nannette said, customize it to see who's there, where everybody else is on their journey, to help them. Yeah. Maybe do some mini reads and past life reads or whatever is appropriate for
That's what I was going to say.
Each of the members. Yeah,
people love that past life stuff.
It is,
and maybe how we're even all connected. Yeah,
I love that. My favorite. I love that one. And Sarah, I didn't even know you were doing this, but you went around and gave everybody a past life reading at the Stardust event. That was really cool.
That was fun. There was a couple of them. I think it was more of a relevant for someone who had recently passed in their family, but that's just what they needed that day, which is perfect. Right? That's what they needed to push them forward. Yeah.
I enjoy doing light language for everyone. That's an easy
one
for me. So I'll just go ahead and drop that on each.
Channel everybody's higher self. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, that was good when you did that. I love that.
And that was so cool. That one woman, was her name Patricia, the triplet? I call them triplets, even though they're not really triplets. But there was two sisters and a brother, and man, she nailed those translations. That was awesome.
Okay, well, and I could feel, I'm gonna put you up there. I could feel when you did my higher self, I could feel you pulling energy. So I also was pushing some more at you so you could pull it in. You know what I mean? It was really cool.
Yeah,
I
that
really
was
love
really
that. I love
cool.
playing with energy.
And
Yeah.
you know what Nannette is saying basically is she's describing specifically what she did, but you can like take a bunch of those words out and just say, I set intentions. So whatever intentions you set will happen. She set intentions to connect energy. She pushed energy back to me to, flow it. And intentions are powerful things. So I'm going to go back to my self-empowerment. And Nannette, this is so cute. This is going to make me cry because when you were here, we did lots of stuff. And I was like, I just want to chill out and watch a movie. So we went to the Red Box and we chose a movie and you didn't even realize that you had seen it before. Is that right? You're like, oh, I saw this, or did you know?
Yeah, I didn't even,
Okay.
And I suggested it. I was like, this.
Yes, and we watched this movie and Sara told you about it. It was so sweet. It was called Isn't It Romantic? And it was about this girl who gets trapped. She like bonks her head and I don't know, she's in a coma, but she thinks that she's in a parallel reality in which it's a romantic comedy. Unfortunately, it's rated PG, so she doesn't get to experience any of the good parts. But at the beginning, she's like, okay, in order to get out of this effing, because she can't even say fucking, effing romantic comedy, I got to get the boy to fall in love with me. So that wasn't it. She got the boy to fall in love with her, and that wasn't it either. So she thought, oh, it's the other boy. I got to make him fall in love with me. And that wasn't the answer either. So that's me. I'm like, well, the first one didn't work out. Maybe it's the second one. Neither of those. And she figured out, which I knew all along, but, you still have to get there on your own. You still have to do the journey. The third person that she fell in love with was herself. And when she figured that out, I just burst in tears. I'm like, this movie was made for me. And then that's like, me too. It was so perfect. It was so sweet. So I found self-empowerment through not needing to be validated by a cute boy. I'm all that without all of them. So that was really sweet.
I've been so in love since that movie with me. I've been falling so in love.
Falling in love over and over again, Nannette.
I'm falling in love over and over again.
I'm my favorite. But Nannette, it feels like you're based on the things we talked about, that you're on a very similar path as I am. Do you feel that too?
Yes, it's very similar. And my self-empowerment was more, no one died or anything. I would let myself get involved in a lot of different relationships in my life. And I would just I would dumb my power down. I would dumb my shine down because it was too much for them. It was too much and it made them uncomfortable, and sometimes you find if you're in relationships where people are a little abusive with you, it's because they can't handle that and they want to help you dumb your. And so for me, the self-empowerment was more about not letting other people, not feeling bad about it and not caring what other people think, which if you know me, I don't care what other people think.
I know. Does it kind of feel like this to you? Because what you're saying makes me feel like for many years I believed, I thought I was taking the path of least resistance by going ahead and, you're saying dumbing it down. I was trying to make it easier for everybody. Uh-oh, we lost Sarah. Come back.
Oh.
But
there we go.
The reality is that it wasn't the path of least resistance. It was the easier path that day, but you can't, that stuff doesn't go away. It builds up and it builds up and it builds up until finally you're like, fuck that. And that's where you surrender. You surrendered that relationship that was no longer working for you, and you found your power through that. I don't need to kowtow and bow down to you. I'm not happy like that. I don't want to stifle myself. So here I am in all my glory.
And all my relationships would show up like that. Even as I thought I was healing that, even my child, until I said, okay, you're all just doing this for me to make sure I'm going to stay here. And I finally, I threw that last stone and everything because it was my son, and I was just recognized, God, he's just trying to say, hey, you got your power, stay in your power. And when I, kind of put my boundary up and didn't let it down and said, hey, because I'm a very liberal mom. I'm very liberal, but I do not, I'm not going to tolerate you thinking you're going to run all over me kind of thing. Let's live in mutual respect here. And it was so extreme. It was like, he was the last thing for me. He was the last big test, you know, and he's amazing. He's always been amazing. He just,
Which kid?
I could really feel my youngest, it's not Dylan. My youngest. I could feel that he was just stepping into that place for me, because once I put my foot down, yeah.
Isn't that cool that you can recognize it? Because, you know, I had 2 twin relationships. I had 2 mama relationships. And the first one's just crazy and primal and chaotic, and you don't know what the fuck is happening. But when you recognize that, aha, this is a challenge sent to me by the universe so I can evolve and grow, you can totally manage it much better. And you still have to go through the motions and the you know, the whole bit of it, but it just makes it that much easier because you kind of have a game plan. You know why you don't feel like a victim. You're like, okay, it's one of those stupid growth opportunities. Thank you.
Right.
But, you know,
you're more like observing it. You know, you can float a little above it and observe it a little bit more.
You can make
in the gut reaction.
You can make educated choices on how you're going to deal with it rather than just, you know, hope for the best. You know, it's not chaos. And, you know, you brought up something real good because I've been thinking about this. In our lives, you guys can both relate because you're both mamas. In our lives, we come across people constantly. And I believe that spiritual people in particular have, ironically, way more drama than the rest of the world. But that's because we're on a fast track to healing. And, you know, so we get all these triggers from all of our people. And at some point, a lot of the triggers, we're supposed to learn boundaries and just cut toxicity out of our lives. But with our children, it's a different story. It's like, you know, where is that line to our surrender and give up? Do what you're going to do. I can't be a part of it. You can't give up on your kids. So that poses an extra challenge. And of all the trials and tribulations that my kids put me through, I just think of Adam and say, thank God.
Right? See, and I had that before Adam passed, right? Go through that. What you guys are going through now, I went through it before, so.
And Adam was a good boy. He didn't have.
Oh, he was a great kid, but he just wanted to, you know, he was determined to have his fun. Yeah, that's right. Fun was his middle name.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you have, do you have, I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but do you have advice to like rectify that kind of, because you can't give up on your kid. If it's toxic, you're stuck with that kid.
Right. Well, you know, and that's, I guess I started my journey of self-discovery back then, because you really have to surrender that idea and observe your child. Why am I responding to him that way too? Setting those boundaries. Yeah. And you've got to be on the same kind of page with, you know, your spouse, the other part. That's, you know, kind of overseeing the relationship, you know, the father figure. So it's that balance every day, and picking and choosing your battles for sure. Because, you know, because your goal is to raise your child to be independent, and then we're pissed when they're independent and making their choices.
I'm telling you, I could bitch at Josh all day long for little nitpicky stuff. You forgot the trash again. You forgot it again. But you don't want to bitch at your kids all day. You want peace, and you know, he's not being a bad kid. He just forgot the damn trash again. So what did you do, Nannette? How did you like come to terms with? I mean, how? I mean, you know, they don't just change because you tell them to.
No.
Well, no, they don't. And what I did was, I went in. One thing I did was, the kids love this, right? I shared with him my childhood. I'm like, I'm really tired of this, you know, because he's a rebel without a cause. I was a rebel with a cause. I was a rebel with a cause. I had a horrible childhood, so I shared not all of it. There's some of it that I don't think my son should have to hear. I mean, he might want to murder someone, but and then I said, and so you don't even have it that bad, and I am so. And I just put it down. I said, I'm done with this. I want you to understand, you've seen me put this to rest in other parts of my life. I am done with this. I will not put up with this. I said, I'm such an easy mom. I mean, I have barely any rules.
That's my dialogue. I'm such an easy mom.
Like he has but then he does know. He won't even go to other people's houses. He knows how good he is. I said, but I will not tolerate this. And so it was a boundary that was put in place. And he saw that I was serious because my energy held it. Do you understand? It's not just the words you use. Your energy has to hold it. Yes. Your energy has to hold it in place.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Still working on that. We'll see if Josh takes the trash out tonight.
Right.
It doesn't work for trash. Trust me.
It doesn't work. I guess that's small potato.
I still have that argument too. Trust me.
Yeah, I always found that part a challenge because, I've talked to Sarah and I meet every week, and I'm like, Josh this, Josh that. I don't mean to pick on Josh, but he's just the one that forgets. That's his big crime, forgetting.
Yeah.
And we,
But
go ahead.
I say, but being a mommy is the best job ever.
It
So it is the
is.
best
It
job.
is. It is good.
Yeah. Aw,
I love
my
kids.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. Does anybody else have any more input about empowerment that you'd like to share in part of your journey? Anything else?
I mean, there's
a
so
lot of
much
it-
we could go
yeah.
into.
Yeah, we could go on
Go
and
ahead.
write a whole book on it. Stepping into finding out exactly, maybe not meditating, but going within and figuring out what your soul plan is. You kind of know those things that irritate you and that you feel that really bother you, you feel weak at. That's what you're here to try to kind of come forward instead of avoiding it. Most of us want to avoid those things.
That's true.
So that's really kind of going soul searching and figuring out literally, this is what I came in to do or experience. And that's why I'm experiencing it. Now I got to turn it around.
Yeah. So
That's
focus on, pay attention to those triggers. Don't spend too much time on them. I had one this morning, so I'm going to tell you about it later on because it really irritated me. Normally it wouldn't matter, but because I'm in a place where I'm at, it was a trigger, and I'm wondering if it was an on-purpose trigger. So I'm going to explore that. I'm not going to sit here and be a victim and complain about what happened to me. I'm going to say, why was this presented to me, and how am I going to react to it?
Right.
that's what I was. Yeah, I was gonna say
Right,
that's
right.
what's moved me through, because I've been healing for a few years, but I've been like massive healing the past, I would say 7-8 months, and that's what's moved me through everything so quickly, is because when a trigger comes, I dive into it. I do not run away from it. I dive right into it. I'm like, bring it on. Let's get this shit taken care of right now. I'm not letting this lay around. I'm not going to build on it. I'm not going to add to it. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Same way. Sarah, do you still find challenges? I feel you're so even keeled, and I'm the one.
I don't have any big challenges. I don't have any big challenges.
There's
sugar in my diet, I guess, would be the only thing. But really, when it comes to relationships, I've got that figured out, that I just have to work with it and just go, I got to face it. And realize it's me. It's me. It's not out here. It's me.
You bring up a good point, because part of my thing right now is truly, my self-image. And sugar is a form of empowerment, because you can choose to not put that stuff in your body. So any kind of vice or any kind of thing that you might feel guilty or bad about, those are your triggers, and that's your way to find empowerment. So curse you, chocolate. Curse you.
That's right.
I did that for you.
That darn American diet.
Ah! Okay, well, I think I am going to close this video up, because Sarah and I are supposed to have a date, and now I'm hungry. We need to go get some sugar, or at least
all the sugar talk.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Greens.
Sweet green sugar. Just kidding. I don't want Nannette to get mad at me. I haven't even changed the board yet. Can we do a post action?
You can do it. Redo too.
Look, I'm going to do it at the beginning, but I'm going to write all the right stuff. But I thought sex tape would still be.
I like what it says, though. I'm good with it. Sex tape, that works for me. I love it.
I like it at the end of the video too. I'm going to call for action at the end of the sex tape.
I've been so behaved. Hey, we should warn people that we have no filter.
There's no motherfucking filter again.
No filter. Sarah does. She's sweet.
No.
Put the sex tapes up. Come on, clap that sex stuff. We like it. Clap it up.
Double take. All right, you guys. So, if you are interested in hanging out with us and getting empowered through Nannette and her fabulous event, I'm going to put some. I'm going to have her send me details, and I'm going to put it right in the thingy, the righty thingy. And so you can contact Nannette and whatever stuff she gives me. If you give me your email or whatever it is, I'll stick those links in the text part of the post.
Mm-hmm.
All right, girls. I loved having you with me last week. Let me come really close. Hang on, look. Can you see my sparkles? Look at that.
Oh yeah, I love them. They're perfect.
Because I got some stardust from Nannette, and it says, "Be humble, for you are made of earth. And be noble, for you are made of stars." That's the truth.
And I'm also made of a heart. She brought me this sparkle right here.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I'm so special and hardy. This is
That's
my heart on, my love boner. I wear my love boner from Nannette around my neck.
Well, that makes
Corn.
me excited. I love that.
Corn.
All
right.
Nannette, it was good to see you. I'm glad you came into Houston.
Yes,
oh, I loved
it.
it.
Remember we made the whirlpool at Sarah's house?
That's right.
Remember when she turned the music on so no one could hear me and you talk?
Yeah, I think your voice carried 3 blocks. It's okay.
This revenge for those barking dogs around your hood.
Yeah,
that's right.
We took up for you.
Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
I'm going to see you in August, if not sooner. And now I'm pointing over here, but on the video, you'll probably be over there. So I'm going to see Nannette in a couple months, and I'm going to see Sara in like an hour.
Couple minutes. I
love
you.
Guys. I love you guys.
I love you guys.
See you in Mount Shasta. We're going to get empowered.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
Bye, guys.
Bye.